Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Imperator Davius, your Fedora wearing Reshiram, and coming to you live with yet another tactical debate. Once again, joining me for the debate is Windrifter. Welcome, man. Welcome back to the show, man.
Thank you. Oh, sorry about the yawning.
Oh my goodness. You're not taking this seriously, man.
Well, can't be hell. It's nighttime here.
Oh, well, it's nighttime for you. Well, this Reshiram is up 24/7, keeping his eye out for everything. I'm a trooper. But in any case, let's actually get onto the topic that has recently risen up about the recent EU International for Pokemon VGC. I'm not sure if you were paying attention or even watching that stuff. Were you watching that stuff?
Not, but don't have time. Need to work.
Yes, I understand, man. I understand. Well, just to put it lightly, there was some stuff happening. Beast Ball, Porygon 2 at the event, but I spoke about that in another video.
Yep.
Yeah, I spoke about that. That's not right, but in any case, this little stuff happened following the end of the EU International. Apparently, there was. Let me see if I can look it up. Yes, here we go. Like some tournament organizers that use team sheets to document and keep track of what teams players are using. They seem to be doing this to legitimize or keep track of Pokemon, make sure no one's cheating or anything, pulling fast ones behind their backs or so. And well, apparently they took it a wee bit more seriously this year compared to previous years. I don't know. Were you paying attention to that?
Sorry, can you repeat the last question? I didn't catch that part.
I was saying that tournament organizers use team sheets. You know about team sheets, keeping track of what Pokemon and teams players are using. Well, they took it a little bit more seriously this year at the EU International for VGC.
Yeah.
And apparently, according to some people who were participating, they were branded like cheaters or something because of a paperwork mistake. Like, let's see, one example, Jonathan Evans, who placed second in the Pokemon World Championship for EU for 2016, and he was a competitor at the EU Internationals. He said that when he filled out his team sheet, according to this, he wrote down his Tapu Bulu was holding the wrong item. And because of this tiny mistake on his part, he not only had to go in with one less team member, he also suffered a loss because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and under normal circumstances, that would be a perfectly legitimate reason. I mean, switching items out on the fly when you registered it as another item, that's understandable. But the problem is, they did this when his Tapu Bulu was using an item that, under normal circumstances, is no different than another item. I believe he wrote down that he was using the Grass Plate, but then he switched it to the Miracle Seed. So, for those who don't know, the Miracle Seed and the Grass Plate both boost the power of Grass-type moves by, I believe it's 15-20%. Maybe. Am I correct?
1.2, so 20% boost in Grass-type moves, regardless of.
So yeah, it's around a 20% boost, and you're talking really, really low. I can barely hear you.
Oh, maybe the distance.
There you go. You need to put the microphone next to your mouth, man. But in any case, both the Miracle Seed and the Meadow Plate each do the exact same thing. They boost the power up by a certain amount, and there's no other difference besides that. But this one small mistake caused him not only to go in like with a handicap, which personally I wouldn't mind. I think maybe it would be a really cool challenge going in with a handicap, but that's just me. In any case, the judges really took this hard. I mean that was it's not like we're talking about switching a life orb with an assault vest. We're talking about two items that do the exact same thing. The real question that this debate is about is, were these judges going a little overboard, or were they justified in taking these actions? What's your opinion on? What do you say?
Might be a little bit too much, but I can understand that one, like, mismatching item could be a major issue. But then again, yeah, let's see, if you suddenly want to change your item set in the middle of the game, then yeah, it would be unfair. But I don't think it's too much, because I think they're compensating for their not very good cheating detection.
Or a lack thereof.
Yeah.
That can be a whole nother debate, but it's obviously that there were cheaters. I'm not going to point anyone out other than the one Beast Ball Porygon 2 that we all know about. But I think that was more along the lines of, I didn't realize this was a hacked Pokemon. So, but let's face it, when we go in, we're all responsible. Or at least I hope we're all responsible. We all have to know where our Pokemon come from. We all have to know who's breeding them, what their IVs are, and especially what Pokeball they're coming in. So, I guess they may be trying to, shore up and crack down on cheaters a little more harshly and show that they're not going to be lenient any longer. And if it's in the rules, it's in the rules. And even though this was a small paperwork mistake, it's still in the rules. You have to, if you're going to put down your Pokemon's going to be using a certain item, it has to use that item you put down. It's your responsibility. So, in my opinion, I'm saying that they're not, that they have to do this, because if you don't crack down on your rules and punish people who, what's the word I'm looking for? If you don't punish people who break the rules, then you're just gonna let other people who, you're just gonna open the door for other people to say, well, why are you punishing me when you didn't punish him for it? You understand what I'm saying, man?
Mm-hmm.
So now that I've thrown down on that little statement, what's your side? What do you think?
Well, I still think it's a little bit too much. They could at least tell them to double check his paper first. Checking.
You're saying like a slap on the wrist, perhaps.
Yeah. Tell them to double check, and then just, if they say yes, it's confirmed. If they found it's inconsistent, then they deserve to get banned.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on down. Yeah, let's move on down with continuing what Jonathan Evans said. He also says that it wasn't just him. He says me and 5 other people, including 2 others who had gotten top 4 at Worlds 2016. I wonder why. Had also been punished, or had Pokemons or even items removed as a result of this paperwork issue. And they also received game losses. So when 6 people, this is obviously not like 1 person or 2 people. No, this is like 6 people, 4 of whom were, no, not 4, 3 of whom were at the top, 3 of whom had gotten to top 4 at Worlds 2016. This is obviously perhaps in my eyes, it looks like they're like Game Freak, Nintendo, or these event organizers are really starting to crack down on, possible cheaters, or at least demonstrating a show of force that they're not going to be as lenient as they were in the past. So, what do you say? What do you say?
Well, I'm glad that they're taking a step up to it, but I don't know. Is this the good direction, though? I mean,
Alright, I guess I'll take up right there. So, yes, it may be a step. It may be a step in the right direction. Maybe it's a harsh step, but you know what? This fedora wearing Reshiram has to say you have to put your foot down. You can't be lenient against cheaters. I mean, I don't know if you were paying attention to before Sun and Moon came out. Like 2 weeks before Sun and Moon officially came out, there were already hacked versions of it already leaked out to people. I mean, were you paying attention to that little story?
Mining.
Yep, and then not only that, but guess what? People had their 3DSs, banned from online play and such for the entire system and all the games on them, because people were foolish enough to go online with their, hacked Sun and Moon copies. And I don't know if you were actually paying attention, but there were also, already PK hexed Pokemon, just ready and waiting and already like wonder trading throughout before the game is even officially released.
Gee.
I can't bring up, let me see if I can bring up that image. Why don't you talk while I'm bringing up the image so I can send it to you, man?
Wait, what am I supposed to say though? Should I?
Give us your thoughts about the. Give us some more thoughts about what you think about this whole, this serious crackdown on the rule books, especially over a small paperwork issue with the harsh punishments.
Yeah, I would. You know what? After reading this, I would say I kind of. No, I still think it's too harsh. I mean, what happened if you just well, I don't think they would go ban people just for spelling mistake. Hopefully not. But yeah, if an item is almost the same, then it's no. That if it's different, then I understand the ban. But if it have the same effect, then it might be a bit too harsh. Understandable. Bit too harsh.
Yeah, and I cannot find the image, but there was an image leaked to someone, somebody covered it in a YouTube video, and it was tweeted over tweeted, and let me see, is this it? No, that's not it. But in any case, it was a Smurgle with perfect IVs, and it had moves that obviously it should not have. I don't know if you know this, but while Smurgle can sketch almost any move, I don't think a Smurgle in Sun and Moon should have access to Extreme Speed, Dragon Ascent, here's a good one, Origin Pulse, and Dark Void.
What? Ah, man.
Yeah, I don't think that's how I don't think that's how a Smurgle should look before the game's even released. I mean, have you ever seen a Smurgle with those moves in Sun and Moon?
No. I don't think they even able to access those moves with any Pokemon. Or any Pokemon with those moves either. I don't think that you're able to access it.
Yeah, here's an image of what I mean. Alright, and while I'm showing my learned colleague the image, I shall explain that,
That's a Gengar though.
Well, it's the next best thing I could find, man. It's the closest I could find.
Yeah, fair point.
I mean, this is obviously, not you're not just like showdown image. No, you can see the sun and moon box in there. I don't think the Mega Latias and Latios, Mega Charizards, Salamence, and all those other Pokemon should be in there. And
I don't think
obviously
you're
they're
even able to put in.
yeah, but those are look, if you read carefully, it says 3DS capture.
Uh,
So obviously those are not right. I mean, this is a perfectly legitimate shiny Gengar at level 100 in its mega form, sitting in the PC box with, let's see, Oblivion Wing, Sacred Sword. Oh, and here's a good one: Protein as its ability. I don't think that's a. I don't. I think there's only one move on this entire. No, two things on this entire thing that are even remotely legitimate, and they are Thunderbolt and Timid Nature. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Gengar does not get access to Earth Power.
he does not.
All right, so I'm right. So, like I said, this is. Well, I'm glad that you're having a laugh, but yeah, this is obviously a hack Pokemon, and I'm just pointing it out there because there were hack Pokemon that were being hacked into the game before the game was officially released. So going back onto the players being banned and such for this paperwork issue, for just simple paperwork issue. Personally, I think they have to do this. I mean, it may sound harsh, but if you let one mouse slip through, he's gonna bring 15 of his buddies with him. And at least 9 of them aren't gonna be his buddies. Yeah, I mean, you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it may sound harsh, and it may not be the step in the direction we want, but it is still a step in the general direction that we want. We need to stop hackers from, getting their hacked Pokemon in. Pokemon is meant to be fun, and it's also meant to be challenging. It's not like, let me just hack a completely competitive team that, would take me a month, maybe month and a half to properly breed, train properly, get the right IVs and EVs done, and the move sets as well, make sure everything is perfect in 5 minutes. Now that's not how Pokemon is supposed to be. I mean, for the Alola Cup, I spent a good week preparing my team, and it wasn't even like a full-fledged every Pokemon had 5 IVs. No, the legendaries I brought in, actually, I only brought in 2 legendaries, Lunala and Pheromosa, and both of them didn't have the full IVs necessary. Heck, my Pheromosa had a serious nature. But
You're not using synchronizer correctly.
I didn't have a synchronized Pokemon. So,
Shame.
hey, but you know what? I was proud of my team. My team did well, and that was a team that I trained and crafted myself. And it took sweat from me, maybe not a lot of sweat, and definitely not a lot of blood, but figuratively. It took me time and patience and energy to get that team, and I would have happily taken that team to the internationals, man. If that was the team that I had to go to the internationals with, and I had to go with them as they were for the Alola Cup, I would have happily walked in there and walked out maybe I would have lost in the first match, but you know what? I would have walked out with my head held high. So we're starting to run out of time, so let's wrap this up with our final closing statements before I give my final verdict. What do you say? What's your final statement, man?
Harsh but understandable.
Alright, so it's harsh but understandable. And so I'm going to have to say as well, it's harsh yet, but we need to, let cheaters and hackers and people who even, make small mistakes, that the rules are going to be enforced, and if you're not paying attention, you're gonna suffer for it. It happens, but you know what? Rules are meant to be enforced. They may be made. There is a saying that rules are made to be broken, but they're also made to be enforced. So my final verdict on this Fedora wearing Reshiram, the truth is, this is necessary. I'm sorry for anyone who may say that these people were harshly punished, but you know what? You can't. If you're gonna spare someone, you gotta spare everyone, including the people who are cheating. I mean, these people may not have been cheating. Maybe they were all legitimate players, and it was just a simple item mistake. But you know what? If they're gonna let them in, they might as well let the cheaters slide as well. So, and we don't want that. We can't, spare the legitimate players over a mistake, and then let the cheaters get through over another, mistake of similar setting. I mean, what if they also made a simple paperwork mistake? What if one of them had like a life orb instead of a light orb? Huh? You get what I'm saying? I mean, what if one of them used a Pikachu with a life orb instead of a light orb? So they both sound the same. They'll both increase Pikachu's offensive capabilities, but one of them is obviously not gonna be as harsh to Pikachu as the other one, but they'll still do the same job somewhat. So it's just how it is. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. So once again, I want to thank you, Drifter, once again for joining me here on Tactical Debate, my brother man. I thank you for joining me, and don't you be mocking my serious-natured Pheromosa. She will kick your ass.
Once my team is trained up, I will gladly to take your offer.
Hey, don't you also be watching my my videos, man? But that's another video.
No, I love surprises, so most likely I won't do it.
All right. I shall thank you again, once again, for joining me here, and thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time on Tactical Debate. Bye-bye.
Peace out.
Bye-bye.